Hi guys, welcome to the Starseed Healing Temple. For today's reading, we're going to get messages from your ancestors. It's been a minute since we checked in with them, and I wanted to see what messages or guidance they have to offer you at this part of the journey. We have 3 pile choices to choose from. For pile number 1, we have the Wolf Spirit. For pile number 2, we have the Snake Guide. For pile number 3, we have the Bird. You can pause the video if you need more time to meditate. You may be drawn to more than one pile, which is perfectly fine. You may have messages in the other readings. Take what resonates for you, as these are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with you at this part of your journey. So lovingly leave the rest and take what resonates for you personally. The timestamps are going to be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you all at your readings. Welcome pile number 1. Y'all were drawn to the Wolf Spirit and this card. Let's get the cards pulled before we reveal what you were drawn to, okay? Let's stand that one up. Alright, let's see. Pile number 1, messages from the ancestors of pile number 1. Ooh, I love when they just come flying out like that. We'll get a couple oracle cards, and then we'll check in on the tarot. Pile number 1. Guidance from your ancestors. Those cards there. Let's get an alchemy card. Ow. Way too many. Let's just try to do 1. 2, I can roll with 2, but let's not do 5. Too many. Whoa, alright, well, I'm going to have to take it. There's 4. They really have a strong message coming through. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. Actually, let's reveal what your card is. Okay, we have the Deviant, Chaos and Destruction. This card represents the Tower card. Something, a belief system, something that used to support you, something you used to believe in, or this can even be the life path that you're on, or what you've been working through. There's something that is coming to an end with this card, and this could be an epiphany, something, a perspective shift. You know, it doesn't have to be like your whole life falling apart or anything like that. This can be just a sudden awareness, something that wakes you up, something that shifts the way that you see something, or something that you believe in, your perspective, a whole reality shift right here. Card number 7. So this could be the awakening, the spiritual lesson, independent thinking. Here, let's put you over there. Okay, let's see what else has come through. We have the Crone. Ooh, wisdom from the experience here. The Crone. This is wisdom. The wisdom of your ancestors. Yeah, your ancestors are here guiding you. With the raven here, being able to see in the darkness. And then you have the tear, the truth, the healing. Some of you may have felt very alone with the wolf. You know, the wolf is somebody, you know, they do belong to a wolf path, but they often seek you know, to go on independent journeys, you know, and when they do that, they could either be seeking a mate or looking for new territory. They're not afraid to be alone and independent. So there may be, this could be an abandonment wound coming through here, something that you've healed through, tears that are cleansing and healing. And you're able to see the truth now, see the illusion, maybe see where your fears may have been preventing you from, you know, living the life of your dreams, or from seeing something clearly. We have trust the path ahead, trust in the unfolding of your life. Every step is part of your journey to becoming who you are meant to be. Don't be afraid to walk alone, you know. There's a reason for that. Too late, not good enough, no one cares. Breaking self-limiting beliefs. The only limits are the ones that you impose. Break free from outdated beliefs and unlock your true potential. Yeah, I felt that. The insecurities of not feeling good enough, you know. We have the deviant, the one who's, you know, different from others. The independence here, having to walk alone on a path, and it can be lonely sometimes, you know, but there's such wisdom in that journey, because you learn to see things different from other people, you know. And it can be a little bit lonely because you feel like you're the only one who thinks this way or feels this way, and you can't seem to find like your tribe. Yes, you have a family, but you don't feel like you belong to that family, you know, because you think differently, you feel differently, maybe you move through the world differently, and so it's made you feel, you know, alone, or made you feel like you weren't good enough, or something was wrong with you. And your ancestors want you to know that that's not the truth. It really is like a sacred power, because you come with this a unique seed, a unique gift, something that's meant to come into this world and shine a light on all of the darkness and all of the pain and the chaos that's here on this earth plane. You know, that's part of your mission. This is what you were here for. You are learning to express your authenticity and to be your unique self. And so you may be on this current journey now where you're starting to see the truth, or you're seeing the wisdom of the experience and releasing these self-limiting beliefs, you know, of looking at yourself or perceiving yourself and perceiving your life in a certain way. And there's these steps ahead, right, where the light is guiding you. Trust in your heart and follow this light. See that you have the light shining through in both of these areas where it was very dark. And there's this bright light guiding you. And I feel like those are your ancestors, and you have higher consciousness coming through. Look at all these guides that are surrounding you as you ascend, as you release these beliefs of not being good enough, or feeling alone, or that you're, you know, too old for things to change, or, you know, things can't change because maybe they've been this way for so long and it's just such a struggle. But it is your beliefs that need to shift, the way that you see yourself, the way that you nurture yourself, the way you may hold on to your pain. That's what needs to be let go of. And we have the vacation card coming through. So maybe you're being asked to like just kind of take care of yourself right now as you release this narrative, this belief system. Yeah, your guides are helping you to shift those thoughts, shift those patterns, to shatter that foundation, the foundational belief, awakening your true self. Ooh, look at that. There's this little fairy that's blessing all these little flowers blooming. Yeah, you're awakening to the truth now. The truth of who you are, the truth of like the meaning to everything, which is, you know, the crone, the wisdom to the experience. What was I learning? I was learning to break free from these beliefs of not being good enough and not being afraid to be that independent thinker, you know, that breaks out of the box, that is very limited, and it's not who you truly are. Ooh, look at that, the sun splendor. I love that card, it's so pretty. Look at all the colors. Okay, so yeah, you got the sun splendor, and I love it because it's so beautiful. This is, you know, the sun. This is abundance. This is growth. This is healing. Shining your light, feeling more confident in expressing yourself, your truth. And so it's necessary to release this old perception that you have about who you are in your life journey, and everything that you've been through, and the meaning behind everything, and learning to see the truth and releasing those fears and those limiting beliefs about who you are, and to shine your light. I mean, look at this beautiful, yeah, healing coming in, abundance, happiness, support. And we have two little birds. They're standing out here, so I feel like there's you may be meeting somebody along the path. You won't be flying solo anymore, where you felt you know, alone, like a lone wolf on the journey, seeking, you know, your family or your path. I feel like somebody's coming in here to help you on the journey, flying off into the sunset. Somebody to help you shine the light. Look at that gold. The gold at the end of the rainbow. Look at all the color that's coming into your life. Yeah, a bunch of things are about to shift for you. Pile number 1. Oh my God, and you got the mystical sister. This is a friend, an ally who's going to come in to help reignite your spark, you know, to remind you of your truth, remind you of your power and who you are. I mean, look at all these stars that are shining here. This beautiful transformation. Yeah, somebody, this is an ally that's coming in to work with you. This could be a fellow, you know, starseed, or a soulmate, a friend, somebody who reminds you of who you are. I mean, look at the beautiful color. It started off a little, you know, dark and heavy, but then the lights come in and moving through. We have autumn. Okay, this is about releasing and attaining the wisdom from the experience. Shedding those old beliefs, those old versions of yourself, and shining your light. I mean, look at the colors that are coming through on this. She's like a butterfly. She's got these butterfly wings and this parrot here. Very unique colors. This could be something having to do with the season of autumn. Maybe something's going to come in. Maybe you're going to meet this person in the fall season. Grounding. Let's put that there. Grounding your light, grounding your truth. And we have the drowned king. This is the ego. Okay, yes, yes. Releasing old versions of yourself, the person who you thought you were, so that you can remember your truth. You know, a version of yourself has to be cleansed and purified. This is the ego. You know, the ego is the version of us that we created when we were younger, when we were going through these trials and tribulations, or, you know, childhood pain, where we start to learn, you know, who we are, where we start to try to understand who we are through, you know, the actions of others. And we learn to, you know, adapt to our environment, through, you know, maybe hiding parts of ourselves away and feeling like, you know, maybe there was a time where you had to suppress who you were because you didn't feel, you know, good enough. Or maybe that, let's say your favorite color is purple and everyone else is like, ew, purple's so ugly. Why would you like purple? You know, you should like green. And so because you got so much, like, you know, hate and resistance for liking the color purple, you're like, okay, well, don't tell anybody I like purple. I'll just say I like, you know, red, just so everybody will leave me alone. You know, you try to adapt to your environment by changing yourself, you know, and believing, you know, what everybody else says about you, or, you know, about your environment even. You adapt and create certain belief systems and stories around those experiences. And we have to learn to let those go, because those were, you know, it's part of our experience in our childhood, but we develop and create stories and belief systems around them, and it alters the way that we see ourselves. And that's when the ego develops, because it is, you know, a younger version of ourselves that doesn't have emotional maturity, it doesn't have understanding and an awareness of how to handle these situations. And so that version of us is what needs to be released, so that we can take the lesson and the wisdom from that experience and move forward and shine our light and access our true self. Who is our true self? Because that was the version of me I created to get through that experience, but I'm no longer having to deal with that experience anymore. So now I'm, you know, at this age that I find myself in, and, you know, that's no longer my belief system. That's no longer my truth. It's not who I am. It's what I went through. And I learned this from that experience, so I can release that and let it go, but know that I am good enough and deserving to have, you know, friendship, to have a family, to have connection, and to shine my light, and know that I will find people on the path going forward who resonate with who I really am. You know, and that's the thing, when we're younger and we try to express our truth and who we are, not everybody receives it. You know, when we're younger, we don't have the power, the control, the understanding, the strength, you know, or the courage to combat or to override other people's, you know, opinions. And we don't, you know, we seek approval when we're younger, because that's what children do. We look to our elders, to our family, to our friends, to society, to tell us that we're good and that we're worthy and that we're deserving. And as we get older, you know, some people still continue to look outside of themselves for that approval. And your ancestors want you to go within and to heal and overcome these old belief systems about who you are, and to shine your light and to shine your true self. Let your true self be seen. And to heal from these wounds that are no longer serving you, because they may be, and I know they are, they're holding you back from your true potential, from attaining your goals, your dreams. Alright, let's get a few tarot, and then I'm going to pull a few of those Astro cards here. Messages from the ancestors of pile number 1. We have the Four of Pentacles, yeah, holding on to maybe some untruths here. So Four of Pentacles, Three of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, the Four of the King of Cups. Nice, okay. Let's stop here. Yeah, I feel like you're searching for, friendship. You're searching for people to walk the journey, a similar journey as you. And the King of Pentacles is somebody who works very, very hard. They put in the work, they put in the time. With the King of Cups, this is somebody who's very, very empathic, they're very psychic, very connected to their heart. Let's see. Let's go in that Four of Pentacles. You have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, that's what needs to be released. You have to let go of, the mind, the ego that wants to keep you in that fearful place of not feeling good enough, of, you don't belong, you don't fit in, nobody cares. Those kinds of thoughts, that just kind of eat at you and wear on you. And, they're very heavy. There may be things that keep you up at night, those fears or those wounds that you have. We have the Fool. Yeah, it's time for a new beginning. Time for you to know the truth. Time for you to go on an adventure. And you have the World. I felt that coming through when I saw this card here, the Flower of Life. It's time for a new beginning. It's the end of this old cycle. The end of feeling like you have to go alone. Where's my soul tribe? Where's my soul family? Where's my home? Where's my safe space, You've been seeking, constantly seeking. Let's see what wanted to come through. We have the Six of Pentacles. Nice. The balance being restored. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. Woo, that's an abundance card right here. The fruits of your labor. All right, so this whole experience, this journey where, you may have felt alone and the only one like you, and all that you have experienced, those feelings of lack and scarcity and not feeling good enough, in whatever way. This is all going to be shifting for you. When you release these old beliefs about who you are and about your experience, there is this beautiful new journey ahead where all these things, all those old fears, like you see the truth of them and you tap into the wisdom, and that journey will give so much meaning and depth to who you are as a person. And you will experience people along the path, like-minded souls who resonate with your experience and what you've been through, because they too came into this, a dark energy, a dark maybe family lineage where it was very dark. There wasn't a lot of love. There was a lot of pain, a lot of old belief systems that they've been passing down generationally, and you've come in with this new seed, this new light, and you're restoring, what was lost. And bringing back that sense of self and awareness and, love into that family tree. You're here to bring the change. You're here to bring that love to those who felt, unworthy, who didn't feel good enough. This is what your ancestors have been experiencing. And so you've come in to learn from them what is broken down, what is not a solid foundation, what is an illusion, so that I can experience it, and then I can extract the wisdom from that experience and bring love and bring light and bring the healing, so that it's something that no longer has to be passed on generationally. Nobody has to feel alone. Nobody has to feel unloved or unwanted or not good enough. I'm going to bring in my love. I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to create that safe space for, the future generation, so that nobody else has to experience this in my family. There will be fruit growing from our tree. There will no longer be, you know, rotting fruit that's not, you know, providing for the soul or giving the soul, you know, that nourishing environment. Your tree is going to bear fruit. It will be something that sustains and nourishes future generations, pile number 1. So this old tree that you were born into, that's what needs to crumble. That's what needs to, you know, regenerate and be reborn with new solid foundations of love and support and kindness and, you know, abundance, happy times, good memories, you know, support, not worry, not fear, not struggle, or aloneness. Yeah, higher vibrational energy. We have protection with the sea turtle. You are a master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm and your path will unfold. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. I love the sea turtle energy coming through for you. We had, what else came through earlier? Let me set this down. It was the rest card. Maybe it was the autumn. Yes, taking time out to heal, to rejuvenate, to go with life's flow. You know, you're going to be guided every step of the way. This card right here, trust in the path ahead. You know, trust in the unfolding of your life. You're going to be guided. Every step of the journey is, you are becoming who you are meant to be. All right, so allow what needs to fall away to just fall away, and to see the truth. Bring your light, bring your love into all parts of yourself that doesn't feel good enough, that doesn't feel worthy. Give yourself that love, give yourself that comfort. Know that you are protected, pile number 1. And this is a strong connection to your ancestors with the sea turtle. The sea turtle is known to have birthed the whole world on their back, you know, so you're part of creating this new earth, which is why you are here. You're here to see the light. We have the fox with clever. You are swift and smart. Solutions to problems are easily found. Always listen to your instincts. Resources surround you. Be open to romance. Ooh. All right, some of you are going to be receiving a connection to like your soulmate. Ooh, it could be your twin flame even coming in for you. And, you know, your twin flame, it can also be just like your connection with yourself, you know, the way that you support yourself, the way you connect to yourself, the way you speak to yourself, even your relationship that you have between the heart and the mind coming in on the same page, you know, where they're working together. You're no longer coming from a fearful place. You are overcoming the ego's fears and worries and learning to comfort them, address them, heal them, and let them go. And then shine your light, you know, step into your heart. And we have the humpback whale with singer. Sing healing songs for the world. Your inner navigation always guides you. Nothing can stop you or keep you from your goal. Align with your purpose and the power in your soul. Beautiful. So with the humpback whale coming through here, this is about your unique journey, you know, and purpose. And there's you're meant to share it, to connect with others, because there are others just like you. You have a lot of wisdom in your soul family here. A lot of wisdom, period, with the crone coming through. Your ancestors are with you always. They're always connecting to you, trying to guide you. Tune into your heart space. Take some time to meditate and listen to the guidance that's wanting to come in, because I feel like you're very intuitive, you're very empathic, you're very sensitive, and you're meant to, you're meant to share your perspective, to share your truth, and to share your life with other like-minded souls. Pile number one. Two wanted to come through, you know, partnership, harmony, shifting perspectives, relationship to yourself and relationship to others. That is all healing. And I'm so happy for you guys, because this has been a journey. Let me get to one final card to close your reading. Let's see. Yeah, let's go with one of these. Ooh, we got two of them. We have a gift from life. Each day, life offers me abundant proof that the universe loves me. Every day, God sends angels to help me. Today, I will receive an angelic message. It may come from someone with whom I speak to, or from words that I read. I will listen closely, as this message is a divine gift meant to help me make my way into love and to maintain my spiritual strength. Look at that. I love this. This is like your ancestors are coming in and saying that they are going to be sending you signs. They're going to be sending you synchronicities. You may receive messages in your dreams. This can come from also your higher self. This can come from a friendship. You know, just be open to receiving messages, to receiving signs and synchronicities, okay, that you are on the right path, knowing that you are loved, that you are always guided. And we have overcoming. Today, in this great school of life, I practice self-discovery by acknowledging, wow, I just seen this car underneath here, wow. By acknowledging that my fears, anger, and ego separate me from my divinity, I allow the light to grow inside me. This light gives me the power to reign over my inner kingdom. Today, I overcome all that separates me from the light that is my truest self. Oh, I love that. That is beautiful. Look at these open hands. See the light that's coming in? Like your ancestors want to guide you into remembering your light, to remembering your truth and your power, to overcome, to shift your beliefs, to shift out of sitting in that painful space of worrying and fear and, you know, victimhood even, because it can make it, being a victim takes away your power. It's saying that I have no choice, you know, and I'm not taking away from anything that anybody has experienced. We have all felt a victim to circumstance, you know, and like I didn't deserve that, and maybe this was somebody that you loved and they treated you very poorly and you did nothing to deserve that. And it's hard to understand like why people would treat other people a certain kind of way, you know, and it makes us feel like we have no power in that situation. And at the moment in time, you didn't have any power in that situation. And so as you reflect and go backwards, you can, you know, find your power to not allow that experience to control you in this now moment. Right here and right now, those memories are controlling you. They're holding you back. They're keeping you locked in pain and locked in a feeling that isn't the truth. You know, it's not your true self. It's an experience that happened to you that made you feel a certain kind of way, and you created a story around that experience. And we have the power to change our stories and to recreate ourselves and to choose a different path, you know, that we've been walking for so long. It's time to walk away from this experience and to extract whatever you can, whatever wisdom you can from, you know, that lesson. All right, your final card says everything changes. A soft light radiates from my heart. It illuminates those around me and transforms every situation that I encounter. I maintain a positive attitude in spite of any difficulty that I may perceive. No matter the circumstances, I remain a source of true joy. Everything changes when it is bathed in the light of the divine. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, so anytime that you feel like that feeling come up again, that fear come up again, that memory, all right, when we say shine your light, it is your perspective, your awareness, to pause in that moment and observe that feeling, observe that memory. What is it teaching me? What is it showing me? What do I need to feel? What do I need to release? Am I holding on to anger about this situation? And if it's justified anger, like somebody called you this name, somebody pushed you down, somebody hurt you, somebody, stole something from you, whatever it was, or, left you alone in your pain. And you just were so upset that these people that you depended on, or somebody that you loved, they just, abandoned you, made you feel that you weren't good enough, whatever the case may be. Allow yourself to comfort yourself and say, I have every right to feel that way. And if that happened to me today, I would still feel that way. It's not okay. And it's okay for me to feel the way that I feel. And I'm going to allow myself to feel this way. I'm going to allow myself to express who I really am and my true feelings and my true emotions about the situation, because I felt like this, and it's okay that I felt this way. It's this validation that part of you needs to have from you. You need to allow yourself to be okay feeling the way that you felt, and then shift into a positive mindset. Don't stay in that pain. Allow yourself to feel it, but then give yourself love and comfort yourself. And what did you need to hear in that moment? What did you need somebody to do for you in that moment? And do that for yourself. And every time you have something come up like this, you have to be like your own best friend. You have to become like the parent you didn't have. You have to become the sibling that you didn't have. You have to do that for yourself. And what that does is it transforms that experience for you so that you're no longer trapped and stuck. It's no longer cycling through and keeping you in a pattern where every relationship mimics that experience, because you're still there in that loop, in that storyline of this is how it is, this is what always happens, I'm always alone, I'm always left feeling I'm not good enough. That's the pattern that needs to change. And everything changes. It's never too late. No matter what age we are, we can always change our situation, our circumstances, and our belief systems. There's always room for growth and change, okay? All right, pile number 1, these were your messages from your ancestors. I'm going to close your reading now. Thank you all so much for being here in the temple with me. If you like my readings, like and subscribe to my channel. Comment below if this reading resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you all, or just let me know that pile number 1 was your reading. I'm sending y'all lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. Y'all were drawn to the snake spirit. I'm going to pull your cards before we reveal what you were drawn to. Alright, pile number 2, messages from your ancestors. Ooh, what do they want you to know? What is their guidance? What are they helping you through? Let's get these cards here. Pile number 2. Those right there. Alright, this card wanted to come through. Pile number 2. Wow, look at these cards that are shifting. Okay, so there's some kind of movement taking place in your life right now, or they're wanting you to know that something is shifting. Let's stop here. We'll get some tarot in a minute. Alright. Okay, so you're drawn to the snake, and your card is the Father of Fire, Passion Ignited. Ooh, so some of you are having a Kundalini awakening here. Your ancestors might be helping you to shift or to awaken to your passion. This could be your purpose. You are shifting timelines here with card number 26. This is an 8. This is cycles of growth, abundance, achievement, strength, wealth, karmic balance here. Ooh. Okay, let's put the snake over there. Let's see what else we have. The sword. Okay, look at all the light that's coming in. We have this lightning, a lot of transformation. Maybe a lot of truth, something awakening. The sword, you know, the sword can be used to, you know, it's double-edged. There's good and bad, right? Night and day. We have cutting the cords coming through here with the snake, shedding old skin. The fire, this can be the transformation that you're experiencing. What else we have? We have the one, nice, and the self. Ooh, okay. So your ancestors, all right, here we go, are wanting you to shed like old beliefs, old truths, old narratives, shedding the skin of the past, the old versions of the self. With the Father of Fire, to me, this is the King of Swords. I mean, the King of Wands here. Passion, truth, it's that fire, that ability to be able to create, to transform. And with the sword here, there's a healing that's taking place. Perhaps you're letting go and releasing an old truth, an old version of yourself. This could even be like an old job that's falling away, and maybe there's something else that is meant to come in that connects you to like your true self, like your true purpose, your true passion. Yeah, maybe the belief about who you are and what you're meant to create, what you're meant to do, that's can be what's shifting here. All right, what else are the ancestors wanting you to know? We have elevate your energy. Your energy determines your reality. Lift your vibrations and watch your world shift. Ooh, confirmation, shifting. Ooh, yes, there's an increase in your energy. Your energy is being elevated here. Perhaps you have transformed like an old belief system, old thinking, old perspectives. And you're tuning back into like your truth, your higher self, your soul connection here, and remembering who you are. And I feel like your reality is going to be shifting. Your reality is changing. We have clarity, peace. There's going to be more joy in your life, more love. Living each day in the moment. Honor the contract. Look at that. He's walking through the door, and there's these steps that are ascending up into the light. A new path's opening up for you, pal. Number 2. Some lessons were written before you arrived. Facing them now completes the soul agreement. Okay, so you have overcome. That's the sword cutting here. You're cutting the cords of the past, or there's the end of an agreement, a contract, maybe a mission, something that you signed up to accomplish. And I feel like you have broken some kind of karmic agreement. I mean, not broken it, but you have healed it. You did the work. You put the effort in. You overcame. You know, you brought in more clarity, you brought more love, more peace, more joy into your heart, and that is what is purifying and cleansing. And so now you're stepping onto a new path, and you're like signing new contracts, and this could be contracts with more like-minded souls, with your guides, with your guardian angels, whoever you're working with in the spiritual realms. You know, there may be more people that you have agreed to work together with, or, you know, bring something to fruition. Yeah. So you've healed, you've graduated. Thank you. You have graduated from this lesson and this experience, and now you're moving, you're ascending on the path, onto the journey, and there is a new experience on the path ahead. Let's see. We have let go of what could have been. Grief often hides in the story of what didn't happen. Release the almost and return to the now. Okay, and so we have this individual who's kind of like holding a little teddy bear close to their heart. And I feel like maybe some of you may be missing somebody. You know, there may be somebody in your life that, you know, they can't go with you on the journey. You may have had to let go of certain individuals, certain people in your life, in this cord cutting, in this experience. You've had to just choose to walk away and choose to follow your heart, to follow your joy, maybe things that are more aligned with who you are. You know, not everybody can go on journeys with us. You know, sometimes people come into our life and they're only meant for like a season, you know, or a certain amount of time, I'll say. You know, it can be like weeks. You know, sometimes somebody just comes in and you've never met them before, and they just say something very profound that changes your life, you know. Or you find friends or partners, and, you know, you go through life together and you have experiences and shared memories, and, you know, sometimes those relationships, they eventually naturally just fade and dissolve on their own. And sometimes they can be very harsh, and, you know, they teach us those hard lessons about maybe where we weren't loving ourselves enough, or maybe where we were overgiving, or maybe sometimes when we are a little too harsh in our communications. You know, we're always learning from our experiences. And so I feel like there is a little bit of grief of letting go, and having to choose to walk away, but it is for your highest good. It's actually helping you to shift into this higher timeline that's more in alignment with who you really are. We have understand karmic returns. What you send out into the universe comes back. Be mindful of your energy. And see, we have this lotus that's blooming in the background here, and I feel like that's it. Like, some people aren't meant, they don't have like the access codes to like where you're going. You know, they haven't maybe done the work where you have. And so you are, let's say, graduating from your class, but they still have tests that they have to take that they haven't been studying for, perhaps, you know. And you put the work in, you've healed, you've overcome, and you've been doing the work. And so because of that, you know, you get to graduate, you get to move on, you get to take another course, another class, and go in a different direction. And so, but this is part of your path, you know, this is your destiny, this is your mission, what you've agreed to, and they still have things that they have to learn. So it might not be like a final goodbye, but it's goodbye for right now, okay? And some people need to be a final goodbye. Some people you need to walk away from for good, because, you know, they're relying maybe too much on you to do the work and give them like the cheat codes and stuff, and it's not serving their soul. It actually will keep them, it will prolong their growth, and it will keep them, you know, stuck. We have kick up your heels. Ooh, beautiful. I love the little baby one. We have trust your intuition as well. Okay, so there's like this celebration coming through here from your ancestors about you overcoming, you healing, you graduating from this lesson. And with kick up your heels, this is a young little Pegasus here with the rainbow. It represents this new beginning, the healing of the inner child, We have blessings coming in, miracles coming in. And trust your intuition, you know, trust in what you feel, trust in those psychic senses, follow your heart. Yeah, a lot of rainbows here, a lot of healing, a lot of growth, a lot of transcending, you know, wishes coming true, a lot of blessings, chakra healing, chakra alignment here. Ooh, and we have the mystical sister that came through in pile number 1. You may have messages in pile number 1. Mystical sister is about, you know, not being alone. Somebody, like a guide. This can be your ancestors. This can be a friend. This can be a soulmate, a sister, a sibling, you know, just a soul family connection here. Somebody that ignites your passion, you know, they remind you of who you are, they help, they encourage you to shine your light, you know, they uplift you, they inspire you, those kinds of things. So there's something ahead. And then we have the sulfur coming through. This is, the sulfur represents the body, the healing of the body. Let's get some more cards here. Let's go for these here, right here. Let's see if that's sulfur. Fire, passion. Pile number 2, messages from the spirit guides. We have your north node, your destiny is calling. Nice. Your soul mission, your dharma, your destiny. Ooh, yeah, grounding in your destiny. That's why you're being asked to kick up your heels, to receive. Be open to receiving some kind of connection, guidance, support with the flame here. There's going to be something that's going to spark your interest, or you may have a memory, or a memory of who you are, a memory of the truth, or memory of your divine connection, remembrance of your soul family, your purpose being activated here in the physical realm, your direction, your spiritual direction. Ooh, Arcturus came through. Some of you may come from Arcturus or resonate with these beings. They are master manifestors. And look, it says a higher timeline. You are grounding and anchoring in this higher timeline, grounding and anchoring your dharma, your destiny here. I love it. Pioneer, natural born leader. Yes, the Arcturus, they are master healers as well. They work with sacred geometry, very ancient civilization. Yeah, your spiritual gifts are about to be activated as well. And what we have, the raven, seeing through illusions. Saint Germain. Ooh, I felt that with the violet flames here. The flames. Saint Germain, he can be one of your guides that's working with you to help you to purify the old energies, you know, the old version of self, so that you can step into your true self, your destiny here. Energy awareness, your gifts are coming online. Be fearless. We have the truth seeker, the very spiritual one. Ooh, yes, you're a very spiritual person. I'm feeling the Egyptians. Some of you may have a connection to the Egyptians and to Sirius as well. They worked a lot with the sulfur and the pyramids because it was something that represented the physical body. Sulfur also reminds me of volcanoes, is something coming to the surface. And we have 222 with the purpose. Keep the faith. Balance, harmony, relationships, abundance, blessings. Keep up the good work here. 22 resonates with Archangel Raphael, the healer. He's very good with helping us to heal and connecting to nature. Keep a positive attitude in a high vibration here. Maintain that high vibration. Pile number 2. Something, yeah, your destiny is about to be activated. Your spiritual gifts, your dharma for all the hard work. You're about to see that unfolding in your reality. You know, the fruits of your labor. Some divine inspiration is about to be activated. This new contract's coming online. Yeah, all the work that you have done with the karmic return, yeah, your blessings are coming in. It's time for you to kick up your heels, trust your intuition where you're being guided, keep your faith, see through any illusions, any fears, and transform them with the violet flame. If you have any of these old versions of yourself, just cleanse and purify in the violet flame and continue to anchor in this higher timeline where you are free from the old perspectives. You're free from these old contracts and you're stepping into a more higher timeline that's more in an alignment with your truth, where you're going to be meeting your soul family. We have the King of Swords. Yes, a lot of clarity, a lot of truth. Strong communication here, and the Queen. Wow, you have the Queen and the King of Swords. So, a lot of truth, seeing things with clarity. And we have the Raven coming through again. Very old spirit, old souls. Some of you may be seeing like a lot of signs, so pay attention to the signs. You're going to be your ancestors are going to be communicating to you. This can be your soul family as well, sending you messages, sending you guidance and support, helping you to see the truth, see beyond the illusions. Wow, and you have the Hierophant. Look at that, learning those lessons. Yes, keep ascending, keep holding on to your truth, your divine self, your divinity. That's awesome. Mastering your mind here. Ooh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. The truth, the clarity, the sword, the truth of the mind. You know, how that is the contract. This is the healing. This is a class that you have graduated from, is mastering the mind. You know, the truth, the way that you see and perceive things, and that your belief systems are what creates the reality around you. So you have this beautiful healing energy coming through about knowing your truth. We have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, extract from those lessons your wisdom. More the Raven. And then you have the Sun coming through. Beautiful. Your true self. This is the healing. Healing of the mind. Shining your light into those, hidden parts of our subconscious where our beliefs and unconscious versions of ourselves are still, we're still playing those roles, or we're still living out those belief systems from the past, unaware. And you have done the work. And because you've done the work, you've shown your light, you've brought healing to yourself, to your inner child, you've freed yourself from the past, from these lower vibrations, and now you're ascending. Abundance is coming in, more joy is coming in. Time for you to just enjoy life, to be open to receiving guidance from your spirit guides, your spirit team, because they're definitely communicating to you. You may be seeing a lot of ravens. Pay attention to any omens that they bring. They definitely bring a lot of insight. But yeah, you're not afraid to go into the dark. You're not afraid to face your fears. You may even laugh at them at this point now, because they may be trying to just suck you in. But I feel like There's just so much joy and so much light in your life at the moment that there is no going back. There's only forward movement onto this new journey, this new experience. And you have a lot of wisdom now because you have cut the cords to those fears. And now there's this new light, this new passion that's coming in for you. That's part of your destiny. It's your purpose. That's what's being activated. This higher timeline where something's manifesting, these blessings, a truth of yours, a connection. All right, these are your final messages, pile number 2. We have God sustains me. As I turn each day over to God, my worries ease and my resistance softens. In the arms of God's love, I find inner peace, even in challenging times. Today, my faith provides me with great strength, and I welcome all that comes my way, knowing that God, the love of God sustains me. Yeah, this is it. This is that complete freedom here. Knowing that you are supported, knowing that you are loved, that you are guided every step of the way. It's like this complete trust fall. You know, you have complete trust in God, Source, the universe, the Creator, whatever you call, you know, the divine. You have complete faith and trust, and that you are being guided. That joy is guiding you. Your heart is guiding you. Let love be your guide. You know, let your intuition guide you forward. Let the light be your guide now. You're no longer, you know, feeding into the pain, into the worry, into the sadness, into the, you know, past. You're looking forward and you're embracing the journey ahead now. We have appreciation. I'm grateful for the abundance in my life as I direct my thoughts towards all that is wonderful in my world. My troubles and worries lighten. With a full heart, I appreciate all that I have, and today I accept what is, as it is, and choose to be satisfied. I express my loving thanks to the universe for the wealth that is mine. Ooh, I love it. Okay, step into your heart of gratitude and appreciation, and I love. There's so many of arms up in the air and open to receiving, and it's like this complete trust and faith that God has your back, that you are being guided, and to just stay centered in your heart and let your heart be your guide, let your intuition be your guide as you move forward, and trust that everything will be provided for you at the time that you need, you know, that your needs are going to be met no matter what. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reading, pile number 2. Thank you all so much for being here in the temple with me today. These are your messages from your ancestors. I hope they help guide you and lift you up in whatever way you need them to. Please like and subscribe to my channel, you guys. If you resonate with my readings, comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or just let me know that this reading was yours. Sending you lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Hi, pile number 3. Y'all were drawn to the bird spirit. Okay. I'm going to pull your cards now before we reveal what you were drawn to. Take a look at what your ancestors want you to know. Messages from the ancestors, pile number 3. Okay. Yes, this card. Get a few oracle cards, and then we'll take a look at your tarot, and we'll probably get a few more oracle cards later as well, because that's how we do. Yeah, one more. Okay. Let's do some of these alchemy cards. Pile number 3. Let's take a look at what we have. All Alright, so you were drawn to this card, and it is the Star, Spiritual Rebirth. Beautiful. Look at this healing that's coming in for you. Blessings are coming in. Your ancestors want you to know that you're going to be experiencing a rebirth. We have card number 17. This is an 8. Cycles of growth, abundance, expansion, achievement, strength, wealth, shifting timelines even. Ooh. A lot of healing. The crown chakra. Some kind of truth being revealed for you, pile number 3. Let's see what else wants to come through. We have the comic. Okay. And we have the offering. And Thanatos. Okay. So this usually represents, the end of a cycle, or the things that hold you back. But it can also be creation as well. Comic. And the offering. Okay, yeah, you're being offered some kind of freedom, a spiritual rebirth, to free yourself from the things that hold you back. The things that hold you down, things that may make you feel trapped, and to seeing things from a different perspective, seeing the truth, maybe having a little bit of humor in the situation, because sometimes when we're going through like painful experiences, in the moment it is not funny by any means, because some things are very, very harsh, and even some things it's hard to find, an element of humor in it. But as we get down the line, sometimes, as we get older and we look back on our experiences and maybe our choices that we made, and, some of them we're not too proud of, it's good to have a sense of humor about those situations, because, we're all growing, we're all learning, and we all try different things, and we make choices, back then, perhaps that we thought were that these were the only choices we had, and in the moment, maybe we thought we made the best choice. And so, looking back, you can say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that, I can't believe, and it can be even small things like, this was my hair, or I dated this individual, or I worked at this particular job, and be like, oh my goodness, and then have like shame or regret, attached to those experiences, and we end up holding on to it, or putting ourselves into a box, and saying that, oh, well, we have to be perfect, and if we didn't, if I hadn't have done this, and this, then, maybe my life would have been like this. There's this place of regret that you can get trapped into, or the what if space, or the, putting yourself down space kind of thing. And it can be something that really holds you down, or really makes you feel bad about yourself, and I feel like your ancestors, they're wanting to give you this healing. They want to offer healing into that perspective, or to some part of your life that may be very restrictive and very heavy. Let's see what else what we have. We have own your past. You can't rewrite the past, but you can change how it shapes you. Embrace your choices and let them become your wisdom. Beautiful confirmation coming through. And it's this individual who's reflecting maybe on their past, on their choices, on the experiences, and maybe trying to, like, there's sadness coming through, even with the eyes of this kitty cat. Sadness over the choices, sadness over the experience, and it's keeping you held into this place of feeling trapped, or not good enough, not loved, because there's a judgment here. We have elevate your energy. Your energy determines your reality. Lift your vibrations and watch your world shift. This came out in pile number 2. There may be some messages over there for you. Only take that if it resonates. If you were deciding between the piles, then there's definitely one in there. And you're being asked to let go of any guilt or any doubt or fears that you have about choices that you made in the past, because it's holding you back. It's preventing you from experiencing, more love in your life, more joy in your life, or seeing things from a clear perspective. There's this disconnection from like your true self, and your ancestors want to help you with this rebirth, with letting go of the past. Take responsibility for choices that you made. And that's what's saying, like, we make these choices, as the person that we were in that moment in time, and all of our experiences, help shape us, but it's not who we are. We don't have to be defined by our mistakes. They're growing pains. We were learning something about ourselves by making these types of choices, and now we know this choice has this consequence, right? And now, because I have experienced the consequences of my choices, I now am more wiser because of that experience, and now I know to make a different choice. Now I've learned from that mistake, and learning is the lesson. It's how we can move forward. Well, I made that mistake, and I used to put myself down, and I couldn't forgive myself because I chose to do this. I did it. And this could be like, maybe you hurt somebody, maybe you said something that was painful, and maybe it ended the relationship, and there's a little bit of regret. What was I learning? I was learning that I can't just say what comes to my mind. Maybe sometimes I need to pause, think, and reflect before I say. Maybe I need to connect to my heart and speak from my heart. Maybe I need to shift how I communicate, when I'm not happy with something in our relationship. And I've learned maybe that I can't, everybody's lessons are all different. We all sign up to learn different things and to have those different types of lessons. And so it's individual, and I feel like there's a little bit of guilt here. Guilt was sticking out to me the most, that there's a little bit of shame that you have about choices that you've made in the past, and there needs to be forgiveness for yourself for learning something. It's the growing pains, and forgive yourself. Offer yourself your own love and healing and understanding and compassion, right? It's okay. I understand what I was learning. I know why I made that choice, because this is what happened to me, and I was acting out of my pain, out of my rage, out of my anger, or maybe I was doing something very radical to get attention because I felt completely ignored and like I didn't matter. So I just said, threw all cares to the wind, and I just was selfish and did whatever made me feel good, and in doing that I hurt someone. There has to be compassion and forgiveness and understanding for yourself and the choices that you make in order for you to grow, in order for you to heal and to evolve. We're all learning, and of course we learn through some of our mistakes, and some of them are bigger than others, and it takes a little bit more time for us to work with ourselves, but there is these possibilities. That's what's being offered to you, is this chance to heal, to grow, to overcome, and to forgive, and to walk with more peace, more love, and compassion in your heart. Shift your perspective, shift the way that you're looking at the past, at the situation, so that you can tune in to your heart and receive your love, receive understanding. Learn why, so that you're no longer recreating and re-experiencing that situation over and over again, okay? Because it's keeping you trapped in the past. We have breaking self-limiting beliefs. Too late, not good enough, no one cares. The only limits are the ones that you impose. Break free from outdated beliefs and unlock your true potential. Yeah, see, you can't grow because you're keeping yourself stuck in this version of who you were, stuck in this past situation. And that's what your ancestors want you to free yourself from, holding yourself to this point of, perfection. that you're not allowed to make mistakes, that you're not allowed to, you know, choose something different, you know, okay, well, this didn't work out. I'm going to try this. And if that didn't work out, try this. You know, the only failure is not getting back up again and trying something new. You know, it's like, who was it? Was it Einstein, you know, who was trying to, you know, what was it, split the atom? And, you know, he found many, many ways not to do it, you know, until he finally found the one. And that's the thing. The only failure is the giving up, is the not, you know, giving up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. It's never too late. You're allowed to make mistakes and to grow from them. And the growth is changing the behavior so that you're not repeating it and doing it over and over again. That's how you know you've grown. That's how you've known you've changed. And so allow yourself grace. Allow yourself forgiveness. Allow yourself to free yourself from feeling like you have to be perfect. Okay? We have release inner criticism. Silence the inner critic. Speak to yourself with kindness and watch your confidence soar. Beautiful. We have I am not enough. Sad. It's heartbreaking because you may see yourself this way. Your ancestors don't see you this way. They see someone who's very sad, you know, at their own reflection. And I feel like this could be, you know, because we have two individuals. So it has to do with the relationship I'm feeling. Perhaps some of you are sad about the way a relationship ended. And it might be something that you think about a lot, and that's where it's you're keeping yourself trapped. Something that ended, maybe, and you something ended, and maybe it made you feel like you weren't good enough, that there was something about you that wasn't good enough for this person to not, like, love you, I would say. So, like, when we are, let's say, there's different kinds of relationships out there, you know, and some of the most toxic, the narcissist and the empath, where the empath doesn't have a high self-esteem, and they see things through people's hearts, you know, they have a very open heart, they're very sensitive, and they can see through people's pain, and they can see their light, and they can see their heart. And so they have complete forgiveness for people who act out of their pain. And then the narcissist can prey on empaths because they have a very open heart, and the narcissist's heart is very closed off. And so it's kind of like this weird twin flame thing where these opposites are attracted to each other. And the reason why is because each one has, you know, what the other one needs. The narcissist needs to open their heart and be more empathic for others. And the empath needs to set stronger boundaries and protect their heart from people taking advantage of it, right? And become more self-serving, like more self-aware, self-protected, self-loving, and giving of the self, whereas the narcissist needs to give to others, you know? And so there's this attraction with those individuals so that they can learn from one another. But most times, like the narcissist, if they're so shut off from feeling and connecting to others, they just will constantly take advantage of others and make excuses why it's okay to treat you that way. You know, they'll say they're sorry, but their actions never match their words. They just come up with excuses for why it's okay, and they'll gaslight you, or they'll say, well, you did something, you know, 3 years ago, so it justifies me hurting you now. And it's this really bad tit-for-tat score-keeping relationship, and those are very unhealthy. And they narcissists will make the empath feel, of course, like, you know, you're never good enough. And, you know, even when you constantly just forgive them for these horrible things that they do, like the empath doesn't feel good enough for a narcissist, you know. And the narcissist who treats you like garbage, who lies to your face, who hurts you, you know, the empath starts seeking the narcissist's approval, you know, because the narcissist is withholding their love, and you're constantly giving your love, and the narcissist just keeps taking it and taking it and taking it, and then where's your return? You know, the empath never receives anything, and so they think if they keep giving more, then eventually the narcissist will start giving them something back. But it doesn't work that way. Those relationships are karmic relationships, and we're meant to learn from those experiences. And I have had those relationships within family. So it was my partner. Me and my partner have a strong connection, but my family definitely had narcissists in my family. So I eventually learned how to set stronger boundaries, and myself, I would have continued to forgive them, but if they were the ones who ended up setting the boundary and just pretty much just shutting me out of their life pretty much. And a lot of it had to do with differences in beliefs, you know, and not that they even know what my beliefs are, but because I didn't believe the same thing about them, about God, and they're very religious. And so because I'm more open and understanding, and, you know, if that's what they believe, I'm whatever they believe, you know, I'm not going to judge them for it. I know we all have our own paths to walk, but I received a lot of judgment, a lot of shame from them because I didn't agree or I just don't do and do, my actions don't align with what they consider to be worthy. And so it broke my heart at first, but I eventually learned that I had to set healthy boundaries for myself. And just because they're family and blood doesn't mean that they're really my family and my blood, and that I have to constantly, you know, shame myself or put myself down or to ignore how I feel out of my love for them. Like, my truth and my spirit wants to be free to express itself too. And so why do I have to, you know, dim my light in order to fit into their little box of what they believe? And I learned how to set healthy boundaries for myself, and to love myself and to give to myself, and to hold people accountable for their actions and their choices. And that has helped me a lot. Pile number 3. So I hope this came out for some reason. So I hope that this helps you in some way. And it's not because you're not good enough. It's your ancestors are telling you to set those healthy boundaries that says, no, I am good enough. And because I am worthy and I have value, I'm setting those standards for myself. And now I decide who is worthy of my heart, who's worthy of my love and my time. And I'm not going to pour my heart onto people who just want to take from it and never pour back into me and not see me and all the love that I have to give and not appreciate it. I want a balanced relationship. I want people who care that they hurt me, and when they say they're sorry and they apologize, they don't continue to do so, and that we're not in this tit-for-tat relationship, you know. We have choose wisely. Every choice matters. Choose with intention, and your future will align with your soul's purpose. Look at that. Choose to walk away from the part of the path that makes you feel bad, you know, and to choose things that make you feel good. It's time for you to make that choice, to choose to walk away from these experiences, walk away from what didn't happen, from what the shoulda, woulda, couldas, you know what I mean? These people fell off of the path for a reason, okay? Because you are meant for more. You are meant for people who see you, who see your heart, who love you, who appreciate you, who want to give you the love that you deserve, because you're worthy of that. But you have to know your worth and your value, and you have to make those choices. You have to consciously choose who is allowed to be in your life, and whose love do you value, what type of love do you value, and to setting your standards higher so that you're not tolerating less than your worth. Pile number 3. It's knowing who you are, knowing your truth, and aligning to that. Constant, like, follow your heart, go within and listen to your heart, and stop ignoring how you feel, how things make you feel, because this is your strength. Your strength is your feelings, because you will be guided to following the things that make you feel loved, that make you feel good, that make you feel peaceful, that make you feel joy. Those are all signs that you're on the right path. The moment you start feeling like restricted or shamed or, not worthy, not good enough, like you're constantly giving and giving and you're not receiving anything, that it's all low vibration, that's how you know that this isn't the choice, this is the wrong choice, this isn't the path I'm meant to be walking. I'm meant to be following my joy. I'm meant to be following my heart. And stop ignoring the red flags, all of those red flags, all of those icky feelings. Those are all the tell signs that this is a no feeling. This doesn't resonate with my truth. This doesn't resonate with my heart anymore. So I'm going to walk away and I'm going to choose me now. I'm going to choose to love me and what makes me feel good. And this doesn't make me feel good. That's how you know it's not for you anymore. We have higher consciousness. Shift the way that you see things. Follow your heart. We have be honest with yourself. Okay? Transformation. Be honest about the relationship. Be honest about the experience. See things clearly, not as you want to see them. Don't, it's like romanticizing the experience, romanticizing the relationship, oh, it could have been this, oh, it could have been that, maybe this, maybe, we just make all these excuses why it's okay, and it's not okay. It's not, all right? And your ancestors want you to be honest with how you feel, how it makes you feel, how they make you feel, and to follow that, use that guiding system. We have dreams coming true, okay? So some kind of dream is coming true here. Something about your soul purpose. Let's see what else we have. Mortification. I have to look this one up in the guidebook for you guys. What's the other one? We have the lightning. Ooh, the healing. The final stage of healing. And then you have sulfur. This came through in pile number 2 as well. Where did I put this? Let's see. Let's read the mortification together. That one wants to come through the guidebook here. Okay. Mortification, decay, death, and decomposition. Mortificatio is the great alchemical operation of darkness. What was once composed now decomposes. What was once presentable is now despicable. This stage cannot be avoided. The underworld has taken us into the dark interior of its belly, and here we reside until spring. Through the natural process of decay, we descend into the depths we didn't know existed. The alchemist soon finds mortificatio is a stage of regeneration and sacred power, where the soil is fertile and rich, offering nourishment for tomorrow. This stage cannot be rushed. The darkness must have time to do its work, to dismantle and to loosen, to free us from the old scripts and stories. As we learn to surrender to this great operation, the earth churns and wisdom whispers in the dark. She envelops us with grace and the promise of what's to come. Ooh, beautiful. So we have a lot of healing coming through, okay? And with this mortificatio is a phase of alchemy. And it's allowing you to see the truth and the darkness, right? And in the dark is where, a lot of people are afraid of the dark because they're like, oh, well, the bad things are going to get me. But what lies in the dark is our hidden power. And the darkness is only there because we haven't shown a light on it. We haven't gone within and we haven't become aware of how these programs, how these beliefs, how these stories are still playing on in our minds in the background of our subconscious. And they're like a script that's constantly going, and it's a pattern. It's this like loop that we get stuck in. We get stuck in this fear. We get stuck in those beliefs that we're not good enough, that we're not loved. And in this space, in the darkness, is where we receive healing. You know, think about that when we go to sleep. Our body rests, it rejuvenates. It's a time of reflection, a time of healing, a time of receiving and connecting to our truth, you know? And so take this time, because this is a time of healing, of going within and reflecting on those beliefs, you know, nurturing yourself, loving yourself, understanding why you make choices, why you're making the choices that you choose. You know, why did you choose this individual? Why did you choose this experience? What were you learning? What are you learning to heal from? Because the lightning card, this is about a wound that is healing. And think about like a bruise. Okay, when we get a bruise, there's different stages of the healing. You know, when the skin turns colors, right? When we first get the bruise, it can be, you know, purple. And then eventually it starts turning like green and yellow, you know, and that yellowing is the final stage of healing. And so we have this lightning card, and this represents like the healing, the final stage. So this is like the final purge here, the cleansing that needs to take place so that you can step into higher awareness and fulfill your soul purpose. You know, what was the meaning behind the experience? And that's something that you have to go within and reflect on to understand for your own self. You know, this is the elixir that you're looking for. And the sulfur, this is about you know, the cleansing and the purifying. Sulfur is it's used for evaporation. It represents the body here, you know, the salt of the earth. You know, sulfur, it doesn't smell very well, you know. It's a lot of people take mineral baths with sulfur, so it's it can be very therapeutic, you know. It soothes and it smells at the same time, you know, and so, which is great, because that's the duality of the mind, right? It can be our worst enemy, but it can also be our greatest tool. And so I feel like this is definitely guiding you with the element of duality here, and seeing that there is power, there is strength in the experience. There's wisdom to extract from the experience, right? And that your greatest power will come from your greatest pain. It's like awakening to the gift of the experience, you know, and you won't know it until you go within and reflect on those beliefs and bring your healing, bring your higher awareness to it, and to be honest with how you felt in the experience. All right, let's get a couple tarot cards. Oops. Yes, we're signed in. Hang on just a second. Messages from the ancestors, pile number 3. Ooh, that's a lot of cards. Let's see what's what to put through. Ooh, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. Happy family, solid foundation. This is a legacy here. We have the 3 of Cups, community, celebration, support. Yeah, there's a lot of support here. Working together on a creative project. This could be a dream that you may have. You're meant to create something. And we have the Tower, yeah. Okay, yes, you're meant to create something from this experience. Yeah, you are learning from this experience, the Tower, how to have a strong, healthy foundation with yourself first. It all begins with you first. And your relationship with yourself comes first. And to honoring how you feel, how your interactions with people, leaning more into the people who bring you more joy, who bring you peace, who bring you support. They uplift you. You can vibe well with them. You guys work well together. You're looking for those types of energies. They are emotionally supportive. They are energetically supportive. You feel good in their presence. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. And to learn to discern between individuals who bring your energy down, who make you contract, that make you want to hide, that you just don't feel good amongst their presence, or they drain your energy. Pay attention to those, because those are all signs that your energetic body is telling you about who an individual is, not through their words, not through seeing the divine in their heart. It's through the energy that they're exuding, because yes, we are all divine, but we are all not acting on our higher selves. We're not acting as our higher selves. We're acting through our pain, through the programming, through the experiences that we're still holding on to, or the stories that we've created for ourselves, whatever narratives are going on in our own belief systems. People are acting through those experiences, through their pain, and not everyone is living as their higher self. We're not in the higher realms. We're here in the 3D, where there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of darkness, and there's a lot of trickery. So it's learning to protect yourself and seeing the truth between the lies and the illusion. All right, not everybody who smiles has the best intentions for you. All right, we have the Six of Cups. Okay, looking back on the past, with a little bit of nostalgia. This could be, family foundations, support that you have, and taking the experience, taking the good from that experience. What can you bring forward, and what needs to be released and let go of, because this isn't what you want to bring forward into what you're creating for yourself and for future generations. This is the growing pains, the experience, the contracts that you signed to have those experiences, so that you could overcome them, reclaim your power back, and then create something new, right? Create something from that experience. This is the darkness that I incarnated into, because this is what I wanted to heal. This was going to be my part of the healing of the burden that I was going to take on, was working with this energy, working with this family, this bloodline. This is the karmic energies I wanted to overcome. And so I'm choosing to do that. I'm going to extract all the good stuff, and I'm going to bring the good stuff forward, and then I'm going to heal, and I'm going to cleanse and purify, the pain. We have the Page of Swords. Yes, you're learning to see your truth. You're learning to see things from a higher perspective. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. They're learning to see where maybe you're holding on to the past, and that you need to let it go. This is what needs to be purified. This is what needs to be healed, what needs to be loved and understood, so that you can release it and let it go, and see the truth beyond the illusion. All right, let's cut the deck. And we have the Four of Swords. Yeah. It's time for you to rest and to let this go, to nurture yourself, to love yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your needs. The first relationship that you need to have is that solid foundation with yourself, where you honor how you feel, you honor your intuitive insights, the energies that you're picking up from people. You become more observant. You watch how they move. You watch how they treat other people. You watch how they handle conflict. You know, you learn to be more discerning about who's worthy of your heart, you know, by you protecting it and you saying who's deserving of your love and your energy. All right, so let's get you some final messages from your ancestors, pile number 3. All right, those 3 cards wanted to come through. We have, I reap what I sow. Today I remember that all I think and all that I do will come back to me in some way. I understand that I reap the fruits of what I sow and fill my life with thoughts and deeds of abundance, light, and love. I sow these seeds knowing that I will harvest the greatest of riches. Ooh, I love that. Okay, so remember, you have the ability to create the life that you want to be living through your connection, through your understanding, through your awareness of your own belief systems and your own like love and forgiveness for yourself and for others, you know, because you don't want to be held to the past because you're still holding on to pain or resentment or anger about the individual or what didn't work out, you know. Understand that you were both learning from each other and you were learning through this experience. And so if you're still holding on to that pain and those emotions, it's still controlling you, you know, they are still controlling you. And so it's a work in progress. Just take your time and understand, give yourself that wisdom, that love, that compassion so that you can forgive and move on. All right, we have remain in the light. Today I observe, I take time to think calmly and wisely, and I go forward with complete confidence, knowing that I will succeed. No matter what happens today, I will remain in the light. I will maintain my faith and my equilibrium. In this way, I nurture my soul and become a strong and steady representative of the light. Okay? Once you become like aware of your mistakes or, you know, a pattern that you have developed, a belief system or your stories, you know, whatever the case may be, once it's in your awareness, you know, it's not going to go away. You know, I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you have, then you can make more conscious choices going forward, because the darkness is the part of us that is unseen. It hasn't been tapped into yet. And so when we shine a light, we put our awareness on, you know, where we may be holding ourselves back, where we may be still judging ourselves, where we're still shaming ourselves or blaming other people. It's keeping us trapped in a pattern and in a classroom, in an experience where we're constantly having those same lessons over and over again. You know, we get stuck in this loop. Well, we'll send this person and it'll be like a reflection of a previous relationship. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you constantly will see this pattern being repeated in your life. It might not be the same person. It can be a different person, a different meat suit, but it's the same energy. It's over and over again because you keep making the same choices. You keep choosing the same thing, the same reality, the same, you know, feelings, the same beliefs, the same story. You just keep repeating it over. And so once you become aware of it, then you have this responsibility, you know, to yourself and to the collective to heal from it, to move on from it, to break that cycle, to break that pattern, and to shine your light and your love on the situation, and to bring it forward now, to make conscious choices, to no longer need to reflect on that experience anymore, you know, to no longer hold on to the pain anymore. You can bring understanding and compassion, you know, and take the wisdom from the experience moving forward. And to be conscious of your choices here now. Going forward, we have step by step. Today I practice patience. I allow time to fulfill my goals. I understand the wisdom in letting go of control. And I know that the true value of each situation lies in its creation rather than in its end result. Therefore, I allow my life to unfold step by step, inhabiting each moment to the fullest, knowing that my soul is forever rising higher and higher to embrace the light. Okay, so there's this this opening, this doorway that you have to make a choice to walk through. You have to choose to say goodbye to the past, to say goodbye to this old version of yourself, to this old story, this old feeling, you know, and it could be putting you in a place of victimhood where you have no power, no control, and you're being guided to take your power back, take control back into your life. You do not have to let this experience dictate your future. There is this beautiful spiritual blessing that's wanting to come into your life, and your ancestors are guiding you to be honest with yourself, to make the choice to heal from this experience, to overcome this experience, shift your perspective into a higher awareness, into loving yourself, comforting yourself, healing yourself so that your dreams can come true. This future that you have been wanting to manifest, that you've been perhaps, wondering when's it going to happen, why, how come, all those what ifs. This can be what's holding you back and preventing that manifestation from coming in. So once you address and you let go and you heal from that experience, right? And I feel like some of you are at the very end of the healing journey. Like we're in the lightning stage, that bruise is almost gone. That wound is almost gone. You have to have trust and faith that it's coming in, that support's coming in. Your friends are coming in, this community of people. If it's a soulmate that you've been looking for, the right relationship, it's going to come onto the path. It's going to, happen. You just have to trust. It's trusting what you can't see, but believing and knowing that you're worthy of it. But you have to clear out any blockages, any stories, any narratives that you're not good enough and that you're not going to be able to receive, because if you're the one who's always been doing and, putting the effort in and wondering when's it coming back to you, right? When's that good karma coming in? When's that love coming in for me? You have to weed out any of those beliefs that says you're not good enough, or that it's not coming. And those are the blockages that have to be healed so that you can open up and establish this flow of energy to come in. But that also means that you have to be in a receptive mode, healing any blockages in the heart so that you can receive. I am worthy, I am deserving, I am loved, I love me, and keep pouring into yourself, your love, your affection, your support, standing up for yourself, setting healthy boundaries, following your heart, choosing to follow the energies of what uplifts you, what makes you feel good, and saying no to the energies that make you contract and bring you down. And staying in that flow state will help you step onto that path where all your blessings, all your dreams can flow into you. Pile number 3. Okay? All right, you guys, these were your messages from your ancestors. Thank you so much for being here in the temple with me today. If my readings resonate with you, please like and subscribe to my channel. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or just let me know how this reading resonated with you. I'm sending you lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day.